Testing coffee. Hi friends, it's Zoe. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm super excited to talk about my May wrap up, all of the books that I read in May. Summer is a little crazy, so I didn't get to read that many books in May. I did read 8, which was a good number for me. We are very busy in summer months. There's just birthdays and traveling and weddings and trying to move. We're trying to move. And so my life is kind of in chaos, and reading, although I love it and I love it, sometimes just is not what I want to do. Because this season has been a little bit more stressful than usual, my reading is dialing back a little bit and I'm just finding other things to do to kind of de-stress. I've really been enjoying coloring and binge watching shows. I've also really been obsessed with Stardew Valley. Please, if you play that game, tell me I'm not alone, because I have to force myself to get off of the computer. It's so bad. With all that said, I did manage to read 8 books in the month of May. I'm pretty proud of myself. It's still a great reading month. I did really enjoy a lot of them, and some of them I didn't love as much, but without any further ado, I'll just jump in and talk about the books that I read. So the very first book that I read in the month of May was Exit: Pursued by a Bear by E.K. Johnston. This book is a young adult contemporary, and it follows our main character Hermione, who is a high schooler. Hermione is a cheerleader, and she goes to camp for cheerleading and ends up being drugged and raped. This story follows that, and then as well as the aftermath and how her friends and her family and Hermione herself deal with this. It is very heavy. It's not necessarily a whodunit, although they do try and find out who did it. It's very much a coming of age and just a very raw story of how she deals with this in her life. It was a good book and I did enjoy it. Although I've never experienced anything like this, it felt very real and just very honest, transparent, and for that reason I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. The next book that I read in the month of March was a graphic novel, and that was This One Summer by Jillian and Mariko Tamaki. I ended up loving this graphic novel. This was really, really good, and it's been sitting on my shelf forever, and I can't believe I just read it. This is another coming of age book, and while I don't generally enjoy reading coming of age stories, I just loved this one. It follows 2 young girls. They're probably like 14, and they're away on their summer vacation on this little kind of tiny vacation island, and they only see each other during the summer, the 2 friends. And basically they kind of discover an older kid on the island going through something a little bit more mature, and it's kind of how they deal with it, how they talk about it, and then also just some family dynamics were thrown in there. I just thoroughly enjoyed this. I was very surprised at how much I ended up enjoying it. I thought the art was so brilliant and really cool. Basically, it's all in this purpley blue pen art kind of stuff. I just thought it was really pretty. This is easily one of my new favorite graphic novels. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. Definitely recommend if you're looking for a good graphic novel or something to get you out of a reading slump. I really think this would do the trick. The next book that I read in the month of May was A Court of Frost and Starlight by Sarah J. Maas. And you guys, I have to say, I loved it. I thought it was great. And I think some people are being too harsh on this, okay? It's not a full book by her. It's tiny, okay? It was what, 200 and something pages, if that. It was great. I've seen a few reviews where people are kind of just I don't get the point of this, and it was dumb, and didn't matter. I'm biased because I really do love this world, and it's my favorite fantasy book that I've read in so long. Yes, there wasn't a lot to it. No, there wasn't craziness that took place like the other 3 books, but it was the perfect little book to just get me by until the next one comes out. I cherished it. I thought it was really fun to see the characters again, to see the world where it's at. I loved seeing just the dynamics during the holidays. It was so fun to watch them have kind of their version of Christmas. It was just so cute. There is still some heaviness that happens. There's still some dynamics that are being worked out, but overall, I just really enjoyed this, and I have nothing bad to say about it. It was a little slow in the beginning. Well, okay, so I guess I do have something a little bad to say about it. It was a little slow in the beginning, and there were a couple of world building, like, info dumpy chapters that I just was like glazing over when I was reading them. But other than that, I really don't have anything bad to say about the story itself. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I really, really cannot wait for the next one to come out. I'm so excited. I love this world. I love it, love it, love it. So I ended up giving this overall 4.5 out of 5 stars. I really, really liked it. The fourth book that I read in the month of May was The Wicked Deep by Shea Ernshaw. The Wicked Deep follows our main character as she lives in this island town surrounded by a lake, surrounded by water, and every summer they tell this story of 3 sisters that were drowned 2 centuries ago and accused of being witches. As the tales tell, the 3 witches come back every single summer to drown boys in the town. We follow our main character who ends up meeting a new boy in town and basically tries to save him from the lure of the 3 witch sisters. This was a very spellbinding, fun, unique story to read. I really ended up enjoying it. I liked how it was just darker and kind of gave me like Halloween, Hocus Pocus vibes. Personally, I like completely called the twist right away. I actually thought, like, as soon as I read the plot of the book, I was like, oh, that's happening. So the plot twist didn't surprise me by any means, but I still did enjoy it and I liked the way that it was delivered. However, overall, the main character, the girl and the boy, drove me crazy, and there was a lot of insta-love, and I was like just not convinced at all or tied to the characters in any way. And, you know, I mean, that's kind of what you get with a young adult, you know, standalone that's 300 pages. It's just not long enough or developed well enough to give me those, like, oh, I love these characters and totally believe their love story kind of vibes. So it was a fun read. It wasn't my favorite read. And for that reason, I did end up giving it 2 out of 5 stars. The next thing that I read in the month of May was a manga, and that was Sweetness and Lightning Volume Number 1. This basically tells the story of a father who is recently widowed, and he is pretty much just trying to make life work after his wife passed away. They have a little girl, and she is so cute, you guys. She's so cute. I mean, you can kind of see her on here. She's so cute! Basically, he sets out to learn how to cook better because after his wife dies, they're pretty much just eating like out all the time. They're just eating frozen food, and he just wants to kind of get things going again, and he wants to learn how to make better food. So he actually meets a girl in his class that he teaches. He's a professor, and her mother owns a restaurant, and she's like a renowned cook. So they kind of end up teaming up and learning new recipes together, and it's very endearing. It's very, very cute. Totally innocent as far as volume 1 is concerned. I'm interested to see where the rest of it goes. I do think I'll be picking it up. I'm kind of in a manga lull right now. I'm not really interested in picking up any at the moment, but I have a feeling come like fall time, I'll be ready to get back into my manga reads. I gave this manga 3 out of 5 stars. Okay, so the next book that I read in the month of May was a bit of a doozy, and it's definitely not a book that most of you will read. And I didn't even think I was gonna read it, but all of a sudden I did. I read, in the month of May, The Keto Diet, The Complete Guide to a High-Fat Diet, with more than 125 delectable recipes and 5 meal plans to shed weight, heal your body, and regain confidence by Leanne Vogel. I'm not gonna go into it because that's like a whole nother video, but basically, personally, I've struggled with weight my whole life, and I have also lost a bunch of weight in the past and then gained some back, and now I'm just trying to lose the stuff I gained back, and it's all good and fine. I personally love being healthy and just always trying to strive for better health, and the keto diet has been kind of a fad diet, people would say. I've been seeing lots of people do it. However, I've had a lot of people in my life personally lose weight on this diet. Like, it's amazing, totally transformative. So I was super convinced, but I love researching and learning about health and nutrition, and Leanne Vogel is actually like huge on YouTube. She's got like some amazing recipes and tips and tricks, and she's just like very well versed in the keto diet and doing it in a way that's not just like a bunch of cheese all the time. So I just really want to pick this up, and also like the infographics are really cool. There's so much in here, like it's kind of hard to, but like really cool stuff. Like I'm all about that. So really enjoyed this. Really liked everything she had to say. It's kind of weird from like a book standpoint to rate this. I think I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. All in all, it was great. Some of the recipes are a little difficult to follow, but that's okay. I'm not like much of a cook. I don't love cooking that much, so I think any recipe looks hard to follow for me. But yeah, I finished my first week on the keto diet this last week, and I'm actually down 4 pounds. So I will take it as a win. Liked this book. Recommend it. Recommend checking out the keto diet if you're looking to get your health in order. That's all. The second to last book that I read in the month of May was The Paper Princess by Erin Watt. I think I saw Sasha Alsberg talk about this book on her channel, and she kind of raved about it, and I was like, yeah, I'll pick it up. I actually picked it up a couple months ago. It's been sitting on my shelf for a while, and I was in the mood for kind of a fun contemporary. I am personally such a sucker for like rags to riches, princess, royalty kind of stories, and so Paper Princess just kind of like totally spoke to me. Okay, what I didn't know about this book is that it is new adult. That means there are some saucy scenes in here, and it's not exactly, how do I put this? There's some problematic things in this book, to put it lightly. There's some issues. There's definitely some things that like didn't sit well with me. There were some scenes where some guys were like verbally kind of assaulting this girl and like threatening to essentially abuse her, and I just didn't love that. So there were just some problematic scenes that I didn't love. However, looking past that, this was such a fluffy, addicting, like crazy addicting story, and even though it was problematic, it was kind of like a soap opera. Like you're reading it and you're like, this is not real life. This would never happen in real life. No. But couldn't stop reading it, could not put it down. I loved it. It's so bad. I like couldn't recommend this, but if you're looking for like a novel that just is so easy and fluffy to read and kind of ridiculous, I would pick this up. It's basically about a girl who is in high school and she's on her own. Her mother died, her father died, and she literally strips to make money while she's in high school to pretty much pay for her apartment, pay to live, and she's on her own. A guardian ends up finding her. It's just like the most ridiculous thing. Basically the sons like hate the new intruder, the girl, and she is pretty much there. She didn't want to go, but she went, and it's just like, it's just so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous, and I really liked it. And I feel like embarrassed saying how much I liked it. Overall, I did end up giving this 4 out of 5 stars. The very last book that I read in the month of May was such a good one. I genuinely didn't even think I would finish this by the end of the month because I started it 2 days before the end of May, and it's 400 pages, and I'm like pretty much strictly a 50-page per day person unless I'm super intrigued in the book. And it totally blew me away. It was so good. I was in the mood exactly for a book like this, and that was The Woman in the Window by A.J. Finn. Oh my freaking goodness, you guys. Okay, this is so good. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad I read this. It was like crack. I couldn't put it down. I read it in 2 days. I haven't read a book that fast in years. Like I love reading, but I'm like a very consistent reader. I don't binge read most books. I do like 50 pages a night, call it a day, we're all good. But like if I know a book really intrigues me, I will keep reading and like lose track of the page count. I was about 150 pages into this book when I finally realized I was 150 pages into the book. That's just crazy for me. So this story follows our main character, who is an agoraphobic. Basically, she's afraid to leave the house and hasn't left her 5-story house in 10 months. So I can't give much more away because hecka spoilers, but it's a mystery thriller, psychological thriller, craziness, awesome. Lots of mystery, lots of intrigue. The writing, I think, is what just really kept me reading. Her voice was so unique and so strong and just carried the entire novel through. The woman actually, because she's kind of essentially trapped in her house, she ends up like taking her Nikon and kind of like scanning her neighbors and like seeing what they're all doing. And so she's always kind of spying on the neighborhood. So a new family moves in and something crazy happens, and basically the story takes off from there. It's so good. I highly, highly, highly recommend this. I think Fox already picked it up for a movie. I think I heard that Amy Adams is the main character. I can't wait for the movie to come out. There's a little sticker on it. Sorry, I got it cheap from my used bookstore. Really loved this. Totally ended the month with a bang. I gave this 5 out of 5 stars. All right, you guys, well, those are all of the books that I read in the month of May. I apologize that this wrap up was kind of like all over the place. I actually haven't done a video in a while because life has just been crazy, and I did tell myself when I started this project that I wouldn't record unless I felt like I wanted to, and if I didn't feel like I wanted to, I would give myself some rest. So I did take a break. It's been a bit. I'm happy to be back, and I'm excited for the month of June. I've got some cool books, and hopefully I'll read some good things. Who knows? All right, you guys, well, have a wonderful rest of your day. Be kind to someone today, and I will see you soon in my next video. Bye!